So you decided to build a home gym and not sure exactly what to get. I'm José Hernández, owner of CSM Fitness USA, and I want to go through my top 10 picks as to what every home gym needs that's an absolute essential. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm definitely gonna go through these, but there's not gonna be any specific order. I feel like they're all pretty essential, but at the end of the day, I would kind of start picking and choosing as to what you wanna add to your gym. A few questions you should ask yourself is like, what is the gym for? How many days a week am I gonna use it? What kind of training do I do? This list that I comprise is for somebody who is intermediate to advanced in strength training, who's just looking to stay in shape and have a decent setup at home that they could skip out on the gym whenever they can. Not to say that this covers everything, but I think that these are just essentials that you should have in order to have at least the foundation to a really well-rounded home gym. All right, so again, like there's no particular order, but let's start with number one. Dumbbells or adjustable dumbbells. I feel like every home gym should have a set of dumbbells, whether it's just adjustable dumbbells or if you can, a full set of dumbbells. The reason I say if you can, a full set of dumbbells is because multiple people could use them. They tend not to break as much and they will last you a lifetime. So I think that absolutely number one is a set of dumbbells. Number two, I think that you should look into an adjustable bench. I don't think I even need to say this, but I think you definitely need a bench at home. Some people get away with using the floor. Others use jump boxes and just makeshift stuff around the house. But I think spending your hard-earned cash on a quality bench, I think it's very well worth it. So I think, again, if we're building a gym that you could kind of use on a day-to-day basis and are looking for ease of use, then I think that definitely a bench is something you should absolutely do. So that is number two. Three, a power rack or a half rack. Again, you need somewhere to hang your weight. You know, you need a somewhere you could use an Olympic bar. And I think that a half rack or a power rack of some sort, if you fit in your home, I think is absolutely essential. There are options like fold-up racks. There's all kinds of different sizes that they come in. But I think that if you could figure out, I would first measure out and figure out what your height is, because they all come in different kinds of heights. And once you have your height, you know, the world's your oyster as far as half racks. You don't have to break the bank necessarily, but I think that a decent half rack that could hold, you know, 1,000 pounds on it, I think is more than enough for the rest of your life, actually. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Number four, pretty simple. I think that you should definitely get barbell and plates. If you're gonna have a half rack, you need a barbell, you need plates. You know, with this, you have many different options. It depends on, again, what you're gonna do with it. If you're gonna slam the weight, I advise you to get some bumper plates if possible. If you're not gonna slam the weight and that's not really your type of training, then I think that you should definitely just get some steel weight or some urethane plates. Either way, these are must-haves, and I think that if you're building a home gym, again, it's essential. Number five, a lot of people don't think about this kind of stuff, but I think that rubber bands and resistance bands are great. I think they're a great way to add a little something to your workouts, and I think that for the money, I think that you should absolutely just go for it and just buy them. Why not? I mean, you're not gonna break the bank doing this. This is gonna be more on the lower end of things as far as costs go. So I think that definitely spend your money on some bands. They come in all different kinds of shapes and sizes, so just kind of do your homework on them before. Maybe one day I'll get into them. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Number six, kettlebells. I think that kettlebells are one of those, you know, understated pieces of equipment that you could actually put in your home gym. I think you could get away with having 3, 4, 5 of them, something you could swing easily, or something that gives you a little bit of hard work. And I think that you could definitely, you know, work out 100 different ways with a kettlebell. So I think for variety purposes, I think a set of kettlebells, just a little bit different than dumbbells, should definitely be added to your home gym. Piece of cardio. A piece of cardio is number 7 here on the list. This is strictly up to you. Treadmills, ellipticals, bikes, they all kind of do the same thing. It's just up to you. If you do a lot of running, then I would definitely maybe just stick with getting a treadmill of some sort. But if you don't, and you're just looking for a piece of cardio, rollers are good, bikes are good, pretty much anything, step mills, anything you'd want to use on a day-to-day basis. I think it's a good idea. I think a piece of cardio, it really does tie your gym together so that you can kind of do a little bit of everything. You know, I know for me, I do a lot of strength training, but it's not all about strength training. You definitely got to get your cardio, especially as you get older. So yeah, that's number 7. A pull-up bar, absolutely essential. You could get away with your power rack having your pull-up bar. I think that you could knock 2 birds out with 1 stone with that one. But in case you don't, and for some reason you get a half rack that does not have some sort of pull-up bar attachment, and I've seen those, just get something that you could actually pull up on somewhere in your home. It's an absolute essential, actually. I mean, to be able to do pull-ups, even if they're assisted pull-ups, or if you want to hang bands, TRX straps, stuff like that, I think it goes a long way. So I think a pull-up bar, even if you have to hang it on your door, I think is absolutely essential. Number 9 is flooring. I know this sounds crazy, but a lot of people overlook this. I think a piece of flooring would actually take your gym to another level. Once you add the flooring to your home gym, it actually start to really come together and feel like a home gym. So I think that in my mind, it's an absolute essential to have some sort of flooring. If you want to do floor work or anything like that, you don't want to just lay on concrete or your garage, for example. I think that it goes a long way. So, you know, there's different kinds of flooring. There's road flooring, there's puzzle tiles, there's all kinds of stuff out there. I wouldn't get anything that's like the foam type. That's more for like kids' playgrounds. I would definitely get like some sort of rubber. If you're going to be slamming weight around, I would go 1/2 inch or bigger if possible. And that's pretty much it. I think flooring is an absolute essential. It'll make your gym look really cool. So I think that's one thing you can't miss on. All right, so number 10, super simple, storage solutions, right? So dumbbell racks, plate racks, again, stuff to get stuff off the ground, I think goes a long way. No one wants to walk into a messy gym, so every time you have to work out, you have to clean up beforehand. So why not just have some sort of storage solution that goes along with it? I will tell you right now, it just cleans up the joint and it makes it look really cool. So, you know, just consider if you're gonna buy a half rack, if it has plate storage, that's a plus. If it doesn't, get a plate tree if possible, or a bar rack with the plate tree. Just when you think about it, just think about what could go on the ground and what you want to get up from the ground. So I think dumbbell rack, kettlebell rack, anything that's going to just get stuff off the ground, I think you should absolutely do. So that is essential. Otherwise, it's just going to look kind of like raggedy. I've been to people's gyms where the stuff's all over the place and you're like, man, you really got to get it together. And as much as I want to sell them a piece of equipment, I just want to sell them, like, I just want to tell them, like, look, man, just get some storage. It's what you need. It will actually help you out. So yeah, so that is my top 10 list. And if you guys have any questions or you want to talk about what or if you think I missed something, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd love to go through it. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.